So I wanted to make this video because I thought this was a really important subject to touch on, because a lot of times I will talk to people who really just feel like they're victims of their own emotion. So I thought it was an important question to pose. Is it enough to just love someone in a relationship? And the reason I'm asking this is because your partner has free will. And you have absolutely no control over them. They can do whatever the heck they want to do and act however they want to act and treat you however they want to treat you, and you can't do a darn thing about it. The only person you can control is yourself. So this is where the trust comes in, where you choose a partner where you trust their logic, their decision-making process, their heart, and you just trust them as a soul that they're going to make the right decision. You trust their judgment, etc. And that's part of a relationship, is trust, that rubber band of trust. You know, you stretch it out, and when you're not around, you know everything's totally fine, right? So the problem is your partner can treat you however they want. So if they start treating you like crap, is that okay? I mean, is it okay because your love for them is unconditional, so they can do whatever they want to you and they can say whatever they want to you, and your love is unconditional, so you're just going to dismiss it all? The other side actually asks you to hold your partner accountable because they don't feel like loving someone unconditionally is losing yourself and putting up with things that you really don't want to. So being in love with someone unconditionally also involves accountability and holding them accountable for their actions so that your relationship doesn't turn into one big free-for-all, right? Communicate with them. Tell them, this is how this made me feel. I don't really like what you're doing. I'm completely uncomfortable with it, etc. The thing is what they're showing me is that when you don't hold somebody accountable, the scales of justice end up being tipped, where you want to balance unconditional love for yourself and unconditional love for others. So that's where the other side is stressing the importance of self-love in this kind of situation, where it's like, I love my romantic partner, but I also love myself. So how can I approach this situation by maintaining a balance of both? That's what they want. Part of self-love is also being in touch with yourself and knowing what you're thinking and feeling. Busting out that journal, getting in touch with yourself, getting a firm sense of self and comfort on like, okay, what am I really thinking and feeling about this now that I'm alone, and I'm shutting out the noise and locking myself in my room and just really taking a pen to paper and focusing on this. Because a lot of times, we don't know how we feel about something. We set our own needs aside so much that we lose sight of ourselves, and our partner's up here and we're down here and we're making all these compromises like, I don't know. And we get really stressed out and confused. So that's where it comes down to our emotions, where we're like, look, I don't know. All I know is I just really love them. All I know is I just really want to be with you. I just really love you. But is that enough? Is it enough just to love them if they're still treating you like crap, right? And this is where the other side is asking you to be your most true, authentic self and communicate with them. Be open and honest and realistic with yourself, right? Get out of denial. Make sure you're seeing things clearly and being open and honest and realistic with yourself, so that in turn you can be open and honest and realistic and authentic and raw with your partner. And the other side is saying that this is going to make them trust you more. If you're making yourself vulnerable and you're being real with them, it's going to make them trust you more. Like almost like they're saying like they're less likely to take it personally and less likely to get mad if they know you're making yourself vulnerable and having like a high level of disclosure and really, putting yourself out there. It's going to make them trust you more. Like, okay, I know that you're being honest with me, so I'm going to listen to you. And they're saying that if you turn into this people-pleasing actor, it's like your partner can smell BS. So if you turn into this people-pleasing actors are going to be like, I don't know, I smell something. This is weird. So it is more authentic for you to communicate when you do have problems and develop that courage and bravery for standing up for yourself within the relationship. If you are not being honest and authentic with yourself and others, you're really just like a character in a play. That's really how you feel. And you also have to be really careful in that kind of situation, because you could run into karmic issues if you're just using your partner. If your motivations are off and you're just with them for the wrong reasons, you could run into karma problems with that partner, where, the universe picks up on it. They're all knowing. They're like, you're not with them for the right reasons. This isn't good. Another thing that's really important is they want you to come from a place of personal power. Obviously, when we fall in love with somebody, we just float off on a cloud. I love you so much. We're going to be together forever. Right? You're just blinded like, it's just this spell that's cast over you. Right? And it's just the most wonderful feeling in the world to be in love with somebody. But they also want you to be brave enough for self-assertion and having enough self-confidence to be a solid partner within this loving relationship. So they're saying just because you're weak in the knees and you're completely overcome with love and emotion, they still want you to come from a place of personal power and to be a superhero. This relationship, it's not a power struggle or a war or a competition. It's about making yourself vulnerable in a strong, authentic way, because there is strength in vulnerability. So they said, don't just melt into a puddle on the floor. Obviously this is what we do, but we need to focus on loving ourselves and loving others in an honest, authentic way, and not being completely carried away by emotion to where we're just lost. We're just lost, just completely just floating around, with our emotion alone. And so this is another thing the other side wanted to ask is, do you see them? Like, do you really see your partner? Are you checked in? Are you dialed in? Are you mentally and emotionally present? Are you paying attention to the red flags? Are you paying attention to the good things? Are you paying attention to the bad things? Are you appreciating your partner? Are you truly loving your partner? Are you thanking God for them every day? So make sure you're not completely blinded and, completely checked out. Allow your partner to enrich your life, and then allow yourself to enrich yours. And add to one another's lives, as opposed to just completely taking over, just completely take over. You're imposed upon so much, or just walked all over so much, so it's like you just disappear. You're just this puddle on the floor. Your partner walks up and it's like, oh, where'd you go? You disappeared. Oh, that sucks. We're not equals. So yeah, this stuff is all important. So another thing is that, but back before the other side turned me into a nun, I was a serial monogamist. I would go from, boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend. And I noticed that every first date just automatically turned into a boyfriend. I just go wherever the wind took me. And I wish I paid closer attention to, them in the beginning, because there were red flags where I feel like the relationships probably shouldn't have lasted as long as they did, but I just got swept on that cloud. I just got carried away and swept away like, oh, this is the best thing ever, infatuation, etc. And so that's where we want to be a little more self-protective and use a little more, careful judgment in the beginning by keeping our eyes and ears open and really getting to know them better and looking before we leap, as opposed to just woo, another relationship, let's do it. That's part of being codependent, by the way, just so you know. I'm not codependent anymore, but I was. So they're saying, look before you leap, pay attention to them, pay attention to yourself, and don't check out, even though you're overcome with emotion. And then another thing I wanted to ask is about head over heart. Is that what we should do? Should we just place our head over our heart? Well, I like to place my gut over my head and my heart. But a combination of these two is great, where you make sure you're not compromising too much of yourself, but obviously you have to be in love with your partner. I mean, you have to love your partner to have a relationship, right? So combination of these two, but then my gut supersedes my head and my heart, so pay really close attention to your intuition, which is really easy to do in the dating phase because you're still getting to know them. So do a read on their energy, use your intuition and your third eye to do a read on this person that you're on a date with. Is this person my highest good? Can I trust them? Are they good for me? Kind of thing. And another thing is that they want you to come from a place of empowered choice. This is important to them also, is you kind of grabbing the bull by the horns, making your own decisions and manifesting your life partner. And like, universe, this is what I want. Please bring this onto my path. I'm going to fantasize about this and attract this energy to me. And they said when you do find that romantic partner, they want you to come from a place of strength and love, not just like, oh, I'm such a victim of my emotion, I love you so much. But, empowered choice, like, I choose to be with you. I desire to be with you. You are my person. I love you. It's like, no, I'm not this, needy, vacuous, energetic vampire sucking the life out of you. I'm bringing something to the relationship. I'm bringing strength and love to the relationship. And then you do, and then we're just this powerhouse of goodwill for humanity, right? So it's a balance of giving and receiving. I have your back, you have mine. I desire you, I choose you. And I'm doing that because I am not a victim. They do not want the victim mentality. They do not want you feeling helpless. They want you being an empowered superhero. So yeah, that's their whole point. I don't want to feel like a helpless, love-struck, starry-eyed victim. I am not a victim of my own heart and my own emotion. I consciously choose you. I love you. I care about you. You're good for me. I'm good for you. I want you to feel in control. And so, yeah, that's what they're saying. Love is important, of course. But if you're in love, I don't want you to be weak in love. I want you to be strong in love and empowered in love. Like, you can conquer the world and do absolutely everything. Pursue all of your dreams with me by your side, knowing that I'm there for you and you're there for me. And then another thing they wanted me to bring up, which is really important to them, is the rescuing thing. They really worry about us rescuing people because if we feel sorry for them, compassion is a form of love, and compassion will make us put up with more than we normally would. So be careful here. If you're rescuing someone and you feel sorry for them, you're going to put up with so much more than you normally would from someone who you would consider to be your equal or someone that you didn't feel sorry for. So again, I see the scales of justice being tipped in those types of situations as well. Okay? So be careful if you feel sorry for somebody. Yeah, it's like, but I love them, my heart. It's like, yeah, but it's like my heart. You're in love with someone, but also make sure you're loving yourself and make sure you're getting what you need. Just don't let love blind you. That's really the purpose of this is, your heart, but you also have a brain and you also have a third eye. So let's use these two, brain, third eye, heart, all together, make sure they're on the same page, right? That's what you want. So yeah, make sure you're also being true to yourself and, being in love is great, but, just make sure you're loving yourself in the process so that you two can join forces together, be a powerhouse helping humanity, and be the superheroes that you are. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.